We are live. We have 7 days, 22 hours, 27 minutes until the NFL draft starts. So we are getting close to just a week away. We're almost there for the first round. So what is that starting? What time would that be? What time does it start? Don't do the math.
4 or 5 o'clock, I think. I think
West Coast time, yeah.
I think yeah. I think it's 5 o'clock on the first round, and then on Friday, round 2 and 3, I think it starts at 4 or
hmm
something like that. Oh, that's West Coast time, of course, and but
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet these last couple of weeks in terms of news. I mean, I know like the Flacco signing and stuff like that, and the Derek Carr drama. I heard that he wants out of New Orleans and stuff. So
I guess I'm listening to XM today. They go the initial contract. So I guess Derek Carr was pissed off about something in his contract that they were able to turn it into signing bonus automatically without his consent, and that was the original contract. That's how New Orleans keeps on, credit carding guys, because
yeah,
then when they turn the salary into contract, they can spread it out through the length of the contract. But I guess, and then he's been trying to get out of there or something like that, and it's
yeah.
like, yeah, just sign a friggin' contract, and
They need to just blow it up, man, and just rebuild it. And stop like delaying it. There's just
well, it seems like, yeah, I don't know why, yeah, teams like Denver and who else had to blow it up? Tampa Bay, they ate a bunch of money when Brady retired, and they
yeah,
luckily got Baker, and thing with Denver, they had to eat a bunch of Russell Wilson money, and
it's just
so
better. Like Saints are just so uninspiring. Like 9-8, 7-10, 9-8, 5-12. Like Dennis Allen was your coach the last few years. Like Derek Carr is your quarterback is just kind of terrible.
your
So
best player is 37 years old on the defensive line.
yeah, and maybe their second best player is 30-year-old running back. So
Yeah,
uh, it's just like blow it up, man.
well, they
Uh,
seem
but
to they
go ahead.
seem to draft okay players, but then something doesn't work out, or somebody gets injured, and you know,
Yeah, yeah, no, they do. I mean, they do draft okay at times. But yeah, we're doing a rookie mock today, and tomorrow we'll be live. We won't be live over the weekend, so we're doing two during the week, and then we'll be into draft week. So if you guys want to join the rookie draft, link is right there in the description. So um, probably won't fill it up tonight, but we'll fill in the blanks with some of the auto picks and things like that. And yeah, hopefully we can get at least like half the draft pool or something. James is here as always. Paul is here. So guys, go ahead and join that rookie mock, and yeah, come mock with us. We are using landing spots. It was a 7-round mock draft, so I always like the 7 rounders. A lot of effort that goes into that. 7-round mock draft here from the 33rd team, which will go over some of the landing spots. And where guys fell. So of course, hit the like button, but more importantly, join the mock with us. Join the mock. Hopefully, we can get it at least half full. And yeah, but this time next week, we're gonna be watching the draft, and then we're gonna hop on afterwards and be reacting to it, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So the landing spots for this is the world we're living in. Again, this is from the 33rd team here. They put out a 7-round mock draft a couple of days ago. These are the landing spots. This is the world we're living in. We got Cam Ward, of course, 101, and Travis Hunter at the 102. That seems to be what's going to happen. And it's going to be very interesting with Cam Ward going to the Browns. what they're going to do because he wants to play both sides. They're talking about how great of a receiver he is.
Travis Hunter, you
And
mean?
yeah, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And they desperately need receivers. Like you look at their depth chart, it's Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and then Michael Woods the second or third. So just not great beyond Jeudy. Like I know Cedric Tillman had a few games there, but we got to be realistic here. So, but man, that's just interesting. Ashton Genty's a Raider. Shador Sanders is a Saint, which makes sense with the Carr news. Ted McMillan is a Cowboy. Tyler Warren, a Colt. You see that happen a decent amount. Matthew Golden, a Seahawk. We see that happen a lot. Marion Hampton is a Bronco. Jackson Dart is a Steeler, 21st overall. Colston Loveland is a Charger. I'm not going to go through all 7 rounds, by the way. I'll go through the first few, and then you can check out the rest yourself. Colston Loveland's a Charger, which is a great landing spot there. Mecca Abuka is a Texan, which I like that. Don't see that often, and I like that landing spot for him. Jalen Milroe, second pick of the second round to the Giants, so he's definitely going to be playing this year. Luther Burden is a Titan. They pair him with Cam Ward. Elijah Arroyo, I don't think I've seen him go this high. Top 40 draft capital going to the Jags. Jaden Higgins is a Patriot. Travion Henderson's a Bear, which we love. Mason Taylor, a Bronco. Jalen Knoll, a Panther. Jack Besh, a Lion, is interesting. And I don't think people are going to love that, but I always say this, teams don't draft for what they need in 2025. They draft for what they need in 2-3 years. And the Jameson Williams, they're gonna have to make a decision on him soon, right? He's already going into his 4th year. So,
yeah, I think the general manager has said they're going to do the 5th.
The 5th year.
Yeah.
But then you never know, guys holding out, they're gonna want their money, all that crap. So I think that's interesting. Caleb Johnson is a Commander. Alec Iomanner is a Chief. Into the 3rd round, we got Bayshall Tootin is a Brown. Doesn't feel like a Brown pick, a smaller, faster back. Trey Harris is a Raider. Kyle Williams, who used to be a sleeper back in January, is no longer a sleeper. He is consistently being drafted in the 3rd round, and I really, really like him out of Washington State. Also played with Cam Ward there. He played at UNLV in Washington State, and he's a lot of fun. Interesting player there. Dylan Sampson's a Steeler. Also doesn't feel like a Steeler pick. Dylan Sampson, another smaller, faster back on these. You think of AFC North, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh as kind of those, hard-nosed kind of runners and stuff, but still like the landing spot. Quinshon Judkins is a Packer. Tyler Shuck is a Ram. Gunnar Helm is a Raven. Jalen Royals is a Saint. Kyle McCord is a Brown. They've talked about how they like him. Terrence Ferguson, an Eagle. Savion Williams is a 49er. I love that. Ty Felton is a Ram. We'll do the 4th round here, and then I'll let you guys check out the rest. Torrey Horton is a Patriot. That's interesting because I don't think the Patriots took anyone else besides him. So you're pairing him as potential wide receiver 2 there. Will Howard is a Raider. Harold Fannin Jr. is a Jet. Cam Scattaboo is a Panther. Damian Martinez is a Chief. Isaac Tesla is a Dolphin, and Tez Johnson is a Seahawk. You guys can check out the rest of the draft. Some notable names. DJ Giddens, who I really like, is a 49er in the 5th round. RJ Harvey, a Cowboy in the 5th round. No Devin Neal on here. Ollie Gordon, 6th round to the Ravens. Is Devin Neal not on here? No, he went 5th round to the Eagles. Okay. So yeah, those are the landing spots. That's the world we're living in. Make sure to join the mock draft here. Let's see how we're doing. And of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll give it a few more minutes before we get started. We do have 6 spots left. So we got it half full. We got 6 spots left. We're going to do a 12-team super flex. Let's go half point or half point PPR and a 1.25 tight end premium. That's what we do in our listener leagues, in one of our listener leagues. So we're gonna those are gonna be the settings there. And yeah, we'll start it up in just a few minutes. Any surprising spots there? Shocking landing spots? How do you like Jack Besh going to your Lions? Another weapon there.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the 2nd round. I don't think that's too bad. That's late. It's late 2nd round. That's like pick almost 60, I think.
Yeah, it is pick 60.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
their
Yeah, that would be an interesting trio of guys, that's for sure.
their third wide receiver is Tim Patrick. He's
Mm.
he did all right. Then they got Khalif Raymond. He kind of fills in. So I mean, if JMO went away or something like that, I mean, you still got Laporta and St.
Yeah.
Brown, so it's kind of hard to say they're hurting. But
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting. A lot of people are making the, Puka Cooper Cup comparisons to Besh in terms of how he wins and stuff. He played tight end in college as well, so he's a big player, and he's very interesting, very very interesting player. I think it'd be a good pick for him. Can never have too many weapons, but we're gonna get this started in just 2 minutes. So if anyone wants to join, we got 4 spots remaining. Be awesome if we can fill it up. Don't think we will, but if we can get one more in, but we'll start this up in 2 minutes. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat, of course. Trade questions, rookie questions, whatever. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can hit our record on this on our in a live stream is 41, I believe, concurrent viewers. That was the Sunday after the combine. So I'm curious what it's going to be like after the draft and see if we can break our record there. Hopefully, everyone can join us. One last thing, a little announcement before we get started. Join our Discord if you're not in it. When we go live, you can ask trade questions. You can find league mates if you want to start a league or something. Start, sit, whatever. You can ask whatever you want in there. Also, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to be drawing the name after the first round of the NFL draft on our live stream. And then we're going to draw the name and we're just giving away a free team review. So literally join the Discord, go down to giveaway, type something, and you're entered. That's it. But we're going to get this started here again. Let us get going. I'll make the auto picks here. And of course, the number one pick is pretty easy. Still Ashton Genty holding strong. Looks like he's going to be the 101 going to the Raiders. Don't love that as a Chargers fan. That offense becomes kind of intriguing with Genty, Bowers, Geno Smith, Jacoby Meyer still there. So,
nobody to block.
yeah. No, I think
All the
they're all
ones,
right.
all the ones. I don't know. There's a million. There's a million picks out there or mock drafts. I've seen a lot of Raiders offensive line, so I don't know.
It's going to be hard. I mean, if Genty's sitting there knowing like Pete Carroll and stuff, like I feel like it's going to be hard for him to pass up on him. That's for sure. But yeah, we have MTJ taking Ted McMillan going to the Cowboys. I actually really like that landing spot playing alongside CD Lamb there, and then we have Amarion Hampton. I would probably have Hampton as my 102, 20th overall to the Broncos, but I don't hate the Tet pick, that's for sure. String Theory is here. Let's see who he's going to take. Marvin says, should I send my 2026 third 14-man league for Braylon Allen? 2026 third 14-man. Where do you think that third's going to be, Marvin? I mean, I know it's 2026.
Braylon Allen, the running back?
Yeah, for the Jets.
Yeah.
I would value Braylon Allen as like a mid-third in this draft, so I don't mind it. I hope late. Yeah, I guess we all hope late. I don't mind that at all if you're gonna do that. I mean, I guess what are your expectations for Braylon Allen? My only concern is I know the Jets came out and they said we're gonna use all three of our guys. I actually think Isaiah Davis, who they drafted in the same draft as they drafted Braylon Allen in the 4th and Isaiah Davis in the 6th. I actually think Isaiah Davis might be a better running back than Braylon Allen. So that's my only hesitation with him. We see Quinshawn Judkins off the board. Quinshawn Judkins went 3rd round, but he went to the Packers. That's interesting. 3rd round to the Packers, going 104. All right. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do year one. I don't think he's going to do anything year one. I don't think he's going to supplant Josh Jacobs. So, but if you believe in Quinshon Judkins, then you go for him, right? I'm going to go ahead and take the gift, and I think it's a gift of Cam Ward falling here at the 105 in a super flex league. I'll happily take that. So, but yeah, I kind of feel like Isaiah Davis could be better than him, and I was talking about that when they were drafted and saying, like, look, don't just rule out. I know we know Braylon Allen, we know his name, blah blah blah. Don't just rule out Isaiah Davis. And then remember, Brees missed at least one game last year, maybe two, and we thought, oh my God, Braylon Allen's going to be a smash play, and they actually like split with it was Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen essentially splitting, and people were shocked by that. So I don't hate it, but I guess my question is, what are you expecting to get with Braylon Allen? Like, what are your expectations for him? As we see Travion Henderson off the board and Tyler Warren in a 1.25 tight end premium going at the 107 is pretty nice. I know he went to the Colts, but Travion Henderson to the Bears, which is that's a really nice pick too. So yeah, let me know what you consider, like what your expectations for Braylon Allen there are, because I might want to hold out for a better option, if I can. You are on the clock here. Which way are you going to go, I wonder?
Yeah, I guess I got to take an Ohio State clown.
Emeka Egbuka. Interesting. Not the pick I thought. I like him on the Texans, though. I think he's good as like a wide receiver 2, which is what he'll be with Nico Collins there. So, and we see Luther Burden off the board. Interesting. To the Titans, you're pairing him with Cam Ward. Not a whole lot of competition. That wide receiver, you know who the wide receiver 2? Who do you think is the 1, 2, and 3 for the Titans? Obviously, Ridley's 1. Who do you think is the 2 and 3 for the Titans right now on their depth chart?
I have no idea.
Any guesses?
Yeah,
they're gonna get it.
That Nick Westbrook.
No, he's on the Dolphins.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna go ahead and take. Man, there's a lot of good players. I'll take Loveland here. I'll give you a chance to think for a second.
Yeah, I mean I can look it up, but
no, I got it up. I just wonder if you know off the top of your head. I don't expect you to know because it's really bad.
Is it a veteran?
It's a veteran, I guess, if you're considering he's been in the league multiple years, but he's an absolute bust. Treylon Burks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Treylon Burks is their wide receiver 2. And then their wide receiver 3 is Van Jefferson.
I think what's happening now, there's a handful of older wide receivers out there. I think everybody's going to wait till after the draft before guys, get re-signed. Like Keenan Allen and
yeah, for sure.
Those guys,
Yeah, it's bad though right now. But Luther Burden going to the Titans. So let us know, guys, in the comments what your favorite first round pick here is. This is a super flex 1.25 tight end premium. We got Genty, McMillan, Hampton, Judkins, Cam Ward, Travion Henderson, Tyler Warren, Emeka Egbuka, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Sanders, Shador Sanders, and Hunter. I really like the end of that draft. The second half of it, like Tyler Warren and Loveland, great picks in a tight end premium. Shador Sanders, quarterback of the Saints, potentially, probably. Travis Hunter's going to be interesting, like what we take him there, but yeah, some good value.
Did you hear his smack talk? Like, I'm not going to play unless I play both ways.
I read it. I didn't. When it comes to those quotes and stuff, I always like to actually hear the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, we need to hear tone and body language. And
John Harbaugh said today, he goes, "There's not enough hours in the day for you to be prepared both offensively and defensively. In the preparation leading up." And they were talking about he's going to be on the field for 100 pass plays, defensively and offensively, and
I don't think he'll do that.
No, he's not. So
I'm thinking
I don't know.
like a 65, 70, 60 to 70% on offense, 30% on defense. Like I think they got to use him on D. Like that's the appeal. Like even if it's for like publicity and stuff, like put the guy on the field for both
Oh,
and take advantage.
publicity. That's what
And
gets
take,
you fired, man.
but take advantage of the guy's skills. Like, don't just ignore one side of it. I think, dude, I'm not saying he's going to play full time. There's no way he would last. Like, that would be, I think, average amount of snaps for teams is like 60 or so in a game.
Yeah.
That'd be 120 snaps a game. Plus, they play a lot more games in the NFL than in college. That's just, and it's more physical. It would be a disaster for fantasy. As we see Dylan Sampson and Ollie Gordon. So, string theory saying, I don't care about this draft, the mock draft that we're using. I'm taking the guys I like because Ollie Gordon was a 6th-round pick to the Ravens, which is interesting after Derrick Henry leaves. But obviously, 6th-round pick. The track record for that is not great. I'm just gonna keep taking the value at quarterbacks, I guess, that are falling to me, and I got Cam Ward at the 105. And I'm gonna take Jackson Dart at the 21st overall. So we're all assuming Aaron Rodgers is going to be there, but Aaron Rodgers is not signed yet. So I don't know. Steelers don't feel like a team that's going to wait and beg Aaron Rodgers to come play for them.
I can
don't
hardly
know.
wait till he goes away.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to Hunter, like I do think you got to use him both ways, but I do worry.
I don't think it's possible.
I think it's possible again if he does if he's playing 60 to 70 on offense. So I don't know. Let's just say he's playing on an average game. Like let's just say there's 120 snaps. I don't know. He's playing in 60% on offense. So let's just say you have 60 snaps on offense. So he plays in 35 of that, and then you have 60 snaps on defense, and he's playing 20 of that. So he's playing 60, 70 snaps, but on both sides. Like he's not playing 100. I think you can definitely manage that. So we see Scattaboo off the board and Jalen. Jaden Higgins off the board, going to the Patriots, top 40 draft capital there.
Yeah, that should. Why, if Iowa State's got these two good receivers, how come they weren't better as a team?
Offensively, I thought they were actually pretty good there, and weren't they undefeated for a while?
I don't know, honestly. We never heard anything about them.
I thought they were undefeated there for a while. What did they finish as? Finished at overall 11-3.
Yeah, that's not bad, I guess.
So, Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris off the board. Again, just probably keep taking this quarterback value here. I mean, we'll take Jalen Milroe at the 210, going to the Giants 34th overall. Like he's going to start, in my opinion. It is a tight end premium, so Elijah Arroyo to the Jags. Sorry if you were banking on Brenton Strange, if you held on to him for the last 2 seasons, and then you thought, oh, this is where he's going to break out, and then they draft Elijah Arroyo. I'm going to go ahead and take Besh here, even though he's on the Lions. Still really like the player. So
if he's any good, he'll play.
Yeah,
they're not gonna. We know that. He's just got a lot of things to go through.
Yeah, and one injury could happen. I mean, we do this all the time in fantasy. Michael Penix dropped to the 2nd round because everyone says, oh, he's not going to play till 2026, and he'll be 28 years old by that point. And he literally played year 1, and he's the starting quarterback now. Like, this happens all the time where we try to project anything in the NFL more than 2 years out. It's even 1 year out. It doesn't translate over ever. So we'll go ahead and grab Mason Taylor for this team number 1 here. Goes to the Broncos, 51st overall. I know Evan Ingram's there, but again, teams don't draft for 2025. They draft for 2026 and 7 and 8. So, but yeah, I mean, the Travis Hunter stuff is just fascinating to me because, like, again, the guy is like compared to Odell Beckham and Garrett Wilson. Like, he would literally be the 102 in this draft, in this rookie draft, if he was a full time receiver.
I'm not taking him
I mean, just blanket statement at all, or like
at
not
all.
taking him where? Not at all. So he's sitting there in the third round. You're not taking
Well,
Travis
yeah,
Hunter.
he ain't going to be sitting there in the third round. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, where's your price? Like, you have the
I don't
2
know. First 2 rounds, I'm not going to take him.
Okay. I mean, I think you got to take him if he's in the
Well, let
early
me see.
second.
I got 3 rookie drafts, and only one of them do I have a first round pick in, so I don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine taking the gamble on him late second, or sorry, late first. I'm completely fine with that. Um, because I think it could pay off. Even if he's only playing 60, 70%, he could still be pretty good. Especially Joe Flacco slinging the ball around.
This guy's not online.
Yeah, I see that. We'll probably just make the pick for him here. We'll see if it goes down to the end here. Let's give him some Bayshall Tootin, who goes to the Browns, third round. Ran a 4. What did he run? A 4.3 something. Smaller guy. I'm kind of having it's 4.32. I kind of have mixed feelings with Tootin, but you see Damian Martinez off the board going to the Chiefs, I believe, in the 4th round. So that's a nice pick there. There's okay, yeah, never mind. I thought Scadaboo was still there. I was like, oh crap, he should definitely be picked. String theory, we'll see if he's here, but I don't know. I don't know about Michelle Tootin. Like, I obviously like the speed and stuff, and I think a team's going to take him. I just don't know. Like, a lot of his wins come when he bounces the ball to the outside, and that just doesn't really translate to the NFL well. So, Caleb Johnson. Where did Caleb Johnson go? I think he went pretty high here, right?
Yeah, he's in the
Caleb
second round.
Johnson. Yeah, Commanders. Ooh, I like that a lot.
I've seen in mock drafts, he's kind of shortly after the combine. I don't think everybody was on board too well with what he ran, and then so he kind of dipped a little bit in mock drafts, and now it seems like he's making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He ran like in the high 4.5. So go ahead and make this pick here. I like Manor. He goes to the Chiefs, 63rd overall. So I'm sure people don't like that landing spot, but good draft capital. So I'm going to take my boy Kyle Williams, man. I honestly could see Kyle Williams being as high as my wide receiver 5 in this draft class, like after the draft. I think he's really damn good. Like, and just going back and watching him and just like, man, this guy is like really talented. He has speed. Obviously he didn't get a lot of attention because he played at Washington State and UNLV and stuff. But like, he is really, really, really good. And
dang, Benjamin, he punked me out, man. A good move.
Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
Where did he go? Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, he led the NCAA in receptions.
Yeah, and yards, I think.
Oh man, now I got
1,500 yards. Jalen Royals is a nice pick.
He's not I don't think he's a true tight end, but
he's a tweener.
He can catch the ball.
Jalen Royals is a nice pick. He goes to the Saints. Not a lot of competition there. So I'll go ahead and let you make your pick.
I'm scrambling.
I don't know how to read your Hawk. I'm going to read your name as Hawk. I got offered Rushy, Rice, Dallas Goddard, and Bucky for my 3rd, James Cook, Christian Watson, and Sam Laporta, not premium. So your 3rd round pick, Shock, or is that the 103? let me just. I'm gonna take that as the third round pick here. Not non-tight end premium. Um, I'd take Bucky over James Cook, third round. Okay, I'd definitely take Bucky over James Cook. Who'd you end up taking? Tyler Shuck to the Rams, third round. Uh, he's already like 30 years old. Lakeith Allen, interesting. I don't know if he got drafted. Did he get drafted? He went to the Dolphins, seventh round. We'll get to this question here in just a second here. Shock. Let me make these picks. Ooh, Savion Williams is on the board going to the 49ers. They just found their new Debo, their new weapon there. I love that, man. And 49ers third round, I'd be taking them higher than this. You know, Cordell Patterson. It's Cordell Patterson, but the problem is teams didn't use Cordell Patterson as what we know of him now until 10 years into his career or whatever it's been. You know, he should have been used that way his entire damn career. I'm going to go ahead and grab Torrey Horton here, one of my favorite late third, fourth round picks at wide receiver. Just really like Torrey Horton. And then my boy DJ Giddens. I'm going to go ahead and take him here. He goes fifth round to the 49ers. But I think it's interesting, like, if he ever gets his shot, I think he can be pretty damn good. All right, I'll make this pick here, and then we'll get back to the question here. Let's go ahead and take Terrence Ferguson. Gets drafted by the Eagles. Maybe you get one more year of Dallas Goedert, and then Terrence Ferguson potentially can take over there. So you said he has Brenton Strange. I want to ask him for that instead of Dallas. Okay, so you got offered Rashee Rice, Dallas Goedert, and Bucky for you. Okay, so for me, Bucky over James Cook pretty easily there. Rashee Rice over Watson. That's pretty easy. I'm trying to like cancel guys out here. So like Rashee Rice, Dallas Goedert for Christian Watson and Sam Laporta. Yeah, in a non-tight end premium, I like the Rashee Rice side. If it was tight end premium, I would consider the Sam Laporta side, but in a non-tight end premium, I really like Rashee Rice as kind of a, I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. I know he's coming off an injury and stuff, but he was going to have a big year if he stayed healthy. Really like Bucky Irving. Dallas Goedert is going to be fine as a low end tight end one this year. If you want to get Strange thrown in there instead of Goddard, sure. The one thing I will say about Brenton Strange is I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags take Tyler Warren fifth overall or a tight end very early. So yeah, I like the Rashee Rice side. I do like the Rashee Rice side there in a non-tight end premium. Marvin says, "Is it insane to pretend Dart goes to Pittsburgh and draft at the 105?" So, Dad, if Jackson Dart's a first round pick, 21st overall to the Steelers, let's say Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign with the Steelers, or he's not signed by the time you're drafting, are you okay with taking him at the 105?
Yeah. If you need a quarterback, you got to look at your dynasty team. If you need a quarterback, I'd be okay. If you need a quarterback, I'd be taking Dart or Shedeur Sanders. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it.
So he has Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Daniel Jones.
Well, then I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think
I would go
players
at 105. You could get Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
Maybe Tet falls.
Yeah. So
I need to make this pick here for him.
You
we'll
could even get Cam Ward. He might drop to 5 the way some of these. Yeah. So I just think the options are a little better.
Yeah, I would try. I think I would try and trade back. If my intention was like I really want Jackson Dart, I think I'd feel comfortable him falling. It depends on your league. It depends on the players picking in between. But if you look at the people from like between the 105 and the 108, and those guys, like you feel like they don't really need a quarterback, and they might let them pass up. The problem is like it depends on your league a lot because us who've been mock drafting since my first mock draft on this channel was December 29th. So we're going to be 4 months of mock drafting, right? 4.5 months or whatever of mock drafting. We've seen Jackson Dart go from like a third round pick in super flex leagues to now he's a first round pick a lot of times. Now we're talking about him as the 105. And my point there is the people that have been doing this since January, we might be a little bit like if it was a draft pool of people that have been doing this in January, you probably get Jackson Dart at the 109, 110, 111. Like look where he went in this league, right? And these are people, most of these guys, that are drafting with us have been here and doing it. So he went all the way at the 205. The problem is you're going to get, if you have a league where people kind of wake up when the draft starts and start doing their research a day before the draft and be like, oh yeah, Jackson Dart, first round pick quarterback, I'm going to take him. Then you might not get him. So I would try and know your league a little bit. If I could trade back from the 105 to the 107, 108 and still feel confident getting Dart, I think I would. But I think the 105 is a little bit of a reach unless you desperately need quarterbacks. And I would say you're set with your QB1 and 2. Daniel Jones has a good chance of being your QB3. I would say you don't need a reach at quarterback. I'm not saying you're set at quarterback, but I don't think you need a reach. So we have another auto pick here. Let's just go ahead and take one of my favorite running backs, Jaden Blue here. I'm going to turn on the auto pick here for these last picks here. So yeah, that's how I see it there. Mike says Captain Chronic RBs. Yeah, Captain Chronic. I mean, it's a stacked running back class. Why not take all running backs, right? He gets Omarion Hampton, which is awesome at the 103. He gets Dylan Sampson, who is potentially the Steelers' new starting running back. He gets Damian Martinez, who can compete with Isaiah Pacheco on the Chiefs, and then he gets RJ Harvey. He goes 5th round to the Cowboys. So, and that's I think that's the only running back the Cowboys took. So all of those are really good running back picks for sure. Are you, Mike, are you Captain Chronic, or are you just pointing out that he picked them all? So he said they're hard to come by. I also see myself as a lock for 108 to champ next 3 seasons. So quarterbacks are hard to come by, you're saying. I have to trade up and get into the first. I don't have a first this year. This league is filled with sharks. Some sharks are more sensible. It's easier to talk to the 106 owner than the 109. Going to offer my 26 first, 26 second, and Montgomery for the 105, 306, and 26 third. And I want a quarterback. I think what I would do, Marvin, is I don't know if I would do that right now, like trading up to the 105 and just wanting a quarterback. Because I think there's a decent chance, in my opinion, that that the quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart fall a little bit. And I don't want you to trade up to the 105 expecting to get Jackson Dart a first round pick and he falls to the 2nd round, So I don't know if I would do that right now. I think I would hold and wait. I feel pretty confident in my quarterbacks.
How does he view the difference between Dart and Sanders? Is he stuck on Dart?
Yeah, you can answer that, Marvin. Like, what do you think of Sanders versus Dart? Because both those guys are probably going to be there at the 105.
Absolutely.
Definitely one of them, but potentially both. So I feel like I would play the draft a little bit. Like now, if you're saying there's no way I can trade with the 108 or something like that, but like if I'm sitting there like in the draft, it's the 105 and Dart or it's like how this draft went, where the QB1's not even off the board. Like maybe you can wait and give up a little less and get to the 108 and still get Dart or Sanders. So, okay, it is you, Mike. Yeah, those are good picks for sure. I like that. I like those picks. He thinks Dart is much better than Sanders. So, and Dart might be better for fantasy because he can run a little bit. I don't know. I kind of see him as like maybe like a Bo Nix type of rushing production. So he had over 600 yards in college one year rushing. Yeah. Again, I just don't. I feel like you don't need to overpay for a quarterback, right? And I think with Daniel Jones, you there's a good chance you have your QB3 there at least some point during the season. And then what's on the waiver wire? Guys are going to get hurt. So, but if you have a pretty complete team as well, like it sounds like you feel like you have a chance to win the championship, Marvin, and you kind of feel like that last QB spot, if something happens to Allen or Herbert, I'm screwed. And you kind of need to solidify that QB3, then I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So I just don't want you to trade up and get, the perfect example of this is last year. A lot of people took Jonathan Brooks over Brian Thomas Jr., over Lad McConkey. Like drafting for need I never like to do it because I always like to just take best player available because it's April. You don't have to set a starting lineup for 5 more months, and your roster can change over the next 5 months. And so like all those people, and there was a lot of them that took Jonathan Brooks over BTJ, over Lad McConkey because they needed a running back, are kicking themselves, So like I don't want that to happen with like trading up for the 105 and then Dart falls or Shador Sanders falls, and then like I don't know, like you pass up, you kind of I'm trying to think of the word, but you kind of hone in on one guy, and then you end up passing up on Tyler Warren or Quinshon Judkins. So the 26 first and the 26 second for the 108. I'm fine with that, especially if you think you're going to be in contention in the playoffs. I'm definitely fine with that trade. Would you do that if you 108? So you're trading your future first and a second, thinking you're going to be next year drafting in the 108 to 112 range.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. The early feel for the 26 class is like it's not as good, but that was the feeling for this class this time last year. And now we're 15, 16 players deep in this draft class. So,
well, what happens? Are you talking about quarterback class?
Just in general, the rookie class, that a lot of people are a little bit down on it. So it will change if like Arch Manning comes out. I don't think he will personally, but and he has to be good. We still have to see him play.
Yeah, he's got to be. He played a few games at Texas this year.
Yeah, but he has less than 100 pass attempts on his career.
Yeah.
There's the UCLA Tennessee transfer as well. So yeah, I don't want to overtrade for a quarterback again on April 15th when I feel relatively confident in my starting two. What's on the waiver wire? Is there someone on the waiver wire? Like if you throw 2 or 3 guys from the waiver wire, there's a couple players out there like Mason Rudolph is currently the QB1 for the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He should be on somebody's roster.
He should be. I mean, even their backup, Skylar Thompson, who was on the Dolphins there, should be on roster. Zach Wilson is the backup for Miami. Could you see him playing this year? I could.
In a 12, 14 team league, there's 64 1 and 2 teams, 1 and 2 quarterbacks. They should all be on somebody's roster.
Yeah.
And if they're not, then you should get on the waiver wire and scoop them up.
It is a 14-man league. That does change it a little bit in terms of like I am. It does change the value, Marvin, because if everyone ideally wants to start two, that's 28 quarterbacks. That's almost the entire starting quarterback, each week, right? So that does change it. And I am okay reaching a little bit more on a quarterback because they're gonna be harder to get. And if you have three good ones, you're in a really good spot in a 14-team league. Three good ones plus Daniel Jones, like that's an amazing quarterback room. So it does change it. So I am okay with it. And if you have to overpay a little bit, if you think your team is legit, then I'm okay with it. Would Sanders go as? I don't think he would go as high as the 104. I'd be surprised about that. But you know your league a little bit better, right? You know your league a little bit better. I think you're guaranteed Sanders or Dart at the 105 if you trade up there. So I don't know if he goes 5. We'll have to see where he goes. I mean, if he goes to the Steelers first round, I could justify it just because of the scarcity of the position, especially if you have multiple picks in this draft. I'm not saying you do, but if someone's sitting there at the 105 and they say, I have the 105, the 109, the 201, and the 206, I can find running backs and wide receivers with those picks, but I can't find another quarterback. So that's the logic of like the positional scarcity. So I think you can justify it. Mike says Jaden Higgins at the 208. He likes your pick there, Mr. Jaden Higgins. Yeah, on the Patriots. Hopefully, it's not another bust wide receiver. Yeah, that would be not great.
Third round, I really wanted the tight end, but
Fannin.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Taylor would drop there too. That's pretty far to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Third was it 308, so it's pretty far to drop for a couple of good tight ends,
Yeah, in a tight end premium as we were playing it. So, but yeah, Marvin. Hopefully that helps. Again, my only hesitation is doing that trade now and not knowing. Just think back to the Kenny Pickett draft. We were like, oh, Malik Willis is going to go top 5 and Kenny Pickett's going to be right there. And then there was someone else like Matt Corral is a late first round pick. And then all those guys fell to the third round. Imagine if you made that trade thinking, all right, I'm going to get Malik Willis at the 105 because he's going to be a first round pick. And then he goes in the third round and you're just like, you're kind of shit out of luck, Like, so if you could buy low on Anthony Richardson, I would do it. I think Anthony Richardson, I know they're talking about it's going to be an open camp battle, blah, blah, blah. Anthony Richardson, I think that's more of like a motivation for him. They're going to give him the shot to win that. Like he has to just fall flat on his face to lose that job.
Yeah, but
it's
I
not
think
an open competition.
I think Daniel Jones has an actual real chip on his shoulder. The guy's been through it. Played in New York, got a second contract, made the playoffs one time, won a playoff game, and now he's thrown out on the streets. So Anthony Richardson, his problem is experience, or whatever. Yeah. So I think Daniel Jones has got a bigger chip on his shoulder, should have a bigger chip on his shoulder. Whether it happens where he's going to start with the Colts or not, I don't know.
I'd be shocked if he was starting week 1 for the Colts.
I wouldn't.
So I'd be shocked. I think it's we're talking about Daniel Jones. Like people are overrating, but real quick, people are overrating Daniel Jones because of Anthony Richardson. Like we're not talking about this amazing quarterback who got injured. Like we're talking about Daniel freaking Jones here. Like let's be completely honest with ourselves. Like we're not talking about this guy that's like he had it one year. Like okay, yeah, he took his team to the playoffs. The guy's never thrown more than his best year was his rookie year in 2019 where he threw for 24 touchdowns. Like let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like I agree that he could start. I'd be shocked if he started week 1. I think that's Anthony Richardson's job. He really has to get injured or fall flat on his face. They know they're not going to go far. Daniel Jones, yeah, could he lead him to the playoffs? Maybe.
Yeah, you can't discount that coaches, general managers' jobs and stuff like that are, all right, they're going into their third year under this regime, and they both of them have picked Anthony Richardson, but if that's not the guy, then it's like, yeah, we need to win. And I think the Colts
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Colts are a little more complete team than the New York Giants were, even with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Daniel Jones, all his good years were with Saquon Barkley.
I mean, his best receiver was like Darius Slayton.
Right. But now you look at
Shepard.
Yeah, now you look at the Colts. They got a pretty good wide receiver trio. I mean, they're not lights out, but they're not terrible either. They're all high draft. There's 3 or 4 of them. Adnine Mitchell, it's the 4th one. He's like a second rounder.
I mean, Alec Pierce was a second round pick. Yeah, he was a second round pick. Michael Pittman was a second round pick. Josh Downs was a third round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all those
Pittman's
guys would
on
be
his second contract, so
yeah. I mean, Downs
Jonathan friggin' Taylor. Come on, there's a little more of an offense there than you got.
I understand all of that.
Yeah,
and I agree with you that they need to win, and he has a very short leash. But ultimately, your goal is to win and go far in the playoffs. Daniel Jones' ceiling is like maybe you win a playoff game with Daniel Jones. Like Anthony Richardson, if he hits, he could potentially, like, we're talking, he could take you deep in the playoffs. Like if he hits at what his abilities, what they drafted him at. So maybe they overdrafted him. I just think I'd be very surprised if he's starting week 1. I would not be surprised if Daniel Jones is a starter week 4. I would be very surprised if he's a starter week 1. So
we'll see, man. It'll be an interesting topic of discussion in August.
Yeah. Should you sell DJ? I feel like you wait until Anthony Richardson does fall flat on his face, and then either roll with him or sell him. Like a single second, the goal. Yeah, I mean, if I can get in this draft class, if I can get an early second or even mid-second for Daniel Jones, sure, I would definitely do it.
I think the dude's going to be holding a clipboard somewhere.
Who, Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you sell Daniel Jones for, let's say, like the 203 or the 203 to 206?
I would not. I would not.
In a 14-team, a 14-teamer.
203?
Which technically is the 205 in a 14-team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. I guess. I don't know.
I think I would wait until he is the starter if you really believe that's going to happen. So, Anthony Richardson was better after he got benched when he came back. Like he also needs to stay healthy. That's another part of it, because he can't be getting hurt all the time. But he had his benching and he came back and he definitely looked better. He had 2 games of over 60% completion percentage. So. Yeah. A couple games there, but
we'll see.
We will see. But anyways, we're gonna head out. Marvin and everyone else join us tomorrow. We're gonna go live again tomorrow. More rookie mocks since it's that time of year. Then we won't be live again until we'll probably go live before the NFL draft once, and then next week we'll be going live with real landing spots. So. You have one trade, Marvin. Are you in our Discord, Marvin? If you're not, join our Discord and drop the trade in there too. And join us tomorrow. And we will be live then. So appreciate everyone, and we will see you all tomorrow.